We grew up on mixtapes and neon lights.
Hey there, everybody. It is the Globe Trotting Trio. I am Amy.
I'm Shelley.
Hello, I'm Tammy.
So let's talk about life before and after becoming a travel business owner. Before we started our travel business, life was busy. It was predictable, and we had like a huge routine probably of things that we did. But now, no 2 days really look alike, right? If I was to say what did my Monday and my Tuesday look like, or even my Monday to my Monday look like, it's always different. So let's think a little bit back in time. Let's kind of reminisce a bit before we were travel business owners. What was your life like a snapshot of a day in the life of Shelley?
Oh, it was brutal. So I was typically up by 5 o'clock. Depending on which location I was going to visit that day, I could walk out of my door anywhere from 7 to now. And mind you, when I say I'm up at 5, like I'm up at 5 and at my desk by 6 and already doing like pre-day work, checking numbers, checking, sales, all that fun stuff. And then depending on what location I'm going to, I'm either out of the house by 6:30 or 7, maybe 8 if I'm going to a close one. And I would walk in the door 5, 6 o'clock at night, and I'm still doing office work after that, and trying to fit kids' activities and dinner and laundry and all the stuff, all the family obligations. Um, it was nonstop until 9, 10 o'clock at night every night. Just
Yes.
did not quit.
Did not quit. That is very sad, isn't it? It's a sad state of affairs for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So Tammy,
And I,
tell us.
I
Go
said
ahead.
I loved it, and I'm not kidding. I absolutely loved it. But when you
Working
think
that
about what
long.
you're doing
Yeah.
and who's controlling your time, it definitely wasn't me.
Yeah.
Um, I was
Right.
making money for somebody else.
Yeah.
Bottom line, I was making money for someone else.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So
Yeah.
Tammy, tell us about yours. What did a day in the life look like for you?
So I'm going to go back when I worked at corporate America. That's, I didn't leave corporate America and go straight into the travel business, but that's where I'm going to go back because I had a decision when I started the travel business is that either I needed to go work full time again or I needed to build my travel business. Those were my two options because I needed money. Obviously, that's what we all do.
Mhm.
What we do,
Right.
it was for money. So back to corporate America, I remember I needed to get in there by 8 o'clock. I had the worst manager supervisor on the face of the earth. So if I was at that point, start crying. Um, I was going through infertility treatments, and those cannot be predicted. I mean,
Right.
and I when things happen, you needed to be in there the next day. And I remember the very last conversation that I had with my manager supervisor was, I need tomorrow. I need to come in late tomorrow because the infertility clinic didn't open up until 7:30, and I need to get my blood drawn and I need to have an ultrasound done. And she was like, well, you can't have it. And I said, well, too bad, I'm doing it. I was very bold, very bold. And she's like, well, I talked to HR. And I said, all right, well, let's bring HR in here and let me fill out FMLA paperwork because you can't stop me from going to a doctor's appointment.
Wow.
And it was the worst experience of my life. It really was. It was the worst thing that they told me. And I was at that point, I thought I'm gonna lose my job. But I didn't care. I just didn't care. I was like, the most important thing with me was trying to have a baby and going to that next cycle because we were actually doing IVF at that point. And that was our one and only IVF opportunity. And you paid a lot of money for that.
Mhm.
So um, I knew right then and there that I never, ever, ever wanted to go back to corporate America because that was not what I needed to do for sure.
Right.
And then, and this, are we talking about afterwards now too? Or are we just talking about before?
No, just the pre,
Yeah,
pre.
the pre.
So,
Yeah, that's it.
I will say that it surprises me that you had to go through that because whenever I was pregnant with Andrea, and now you know that was a long time
Long time
ago.
ago.
That was my
Yep.
baby, and my baby is 26, I think. I have to do math. It's a whole thing. I can't even remember how old I am half
Mhm.
the time. Anyway, I had to get a note from the doctor that said that I would have to go to the bathroom frequently. 6 months
Oh
pregnant.
my word,
And
Amy.
my supervisor thought I was getting up and wasting time. Like I would put my phone on do not disturb, run to the bathroom, run right back. And I did it multiple times throughout the day. And it really surprised me at that time that I had to, like, I went to my doctor the next day and said, "Hey, I need to get a note." And he said, "A note?" And I said, "Yeah, that says I could go to the bathroom when I need to during the day." He's like, "Wait, you've got to be kidding me." Um, but he did it and we got through that. But it surprised me that other people had to go through that kind of thing too. Like, think about all the things in corporate America. Like, yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yep.
So when I first started, I think I kind of alluded to it last time. Like I would start my business, my day at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, working as a teacher, and I
Uh,
worked all day. Now I was a virtual instructor, so I was at home. I worked everything at home, but I was in front of this computer, not this one
mhm.
specifically, but until
Right.
7 or 8 o'clock at night, and then I would switch hats and start my business. Um, but that's what I was doing even before. Like I was up at the crack of dawn. There were times whenever I'd sleep 2 o'clock in the morning, I'd wake up and think, "Oh my gosh, did I did do so and so?" So I was constantly worried about what I was doing for everybody
Mhm.
else.
Mhm.
The huge thing with my pre-business life, I had a very set amount that I could make. I couldn't work overtime and get
Mm,
anything extra, and I was working all
yeah.
kinds of overtime. I couldn't do any of those things. Of course, teachers can get stipends if they do this little thing or they do that thing, but the district that I was in did not offer those things. And I listened to people tell me how I was not a good employee and I was not doing the best and I needed to do more and do
Mhm.
more. And you've got to do this more and this more and this more. It was never enough for anybody, no matter how
Uh,
much. That was my pre-business life. I hated it. So now if you look at your business life before business started, now let's look at it a little bit about after. Tell me, because Shelly, I know your first one, the thing, what's the flexibility you have, the ability to do what you want to do, and what's the one thing that you do every time you have the option?
Be with my grandchildren.
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
oh, it's just the best thing. I don't have to beg someone to let me off because they need me.
Right.
Um,
yeah.
And let me
and
ask you, because you guys don't live in the
yeah,
same state, do you?
no, we are 15 hours apart.
Right?
Like I'm central and they are East Coast.
Yeah. So what's the one thing though that you get to do now that you couldn't have done before? You get to take your business.
Oh, I take it with me. I get to work it from there. And I do. So when I'm there, I have the privilege, I have the honor of doing school drop off and pickup. It's like the best thing. It's one of those things that I was like, okay, when I'm grandma, I want to be able to do this. And I get to do it because I can just say, nope, I can't do that at that time. I get to take the kids to school. When I get back, I'm happy to do that. I can get on a Zoom, I can get on a call, I can whatever.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
whatever the business needs at that time. I get to decide what that looks like.
I love that. And how about you, Tammy?
So life is just like Shelley, flexible. Flexible. I have the freedom to do what I want to do. Um, I haven't been in corporate America for 17 years,
Yeah.
um, and I don't have to worry about talking to the supervisor about going to the doctor anymore.
Right?
That's the beauty, right? But other than that, the um, my mom, taking care of my mom and being available for her literally 24/7. My dad passed away 2.5, 3.5 years. Jeez. It's crazy how time just like
Time
slips
flies.
away. Yeah. And she needs that extra care. And and I mean that she's not sick. She's lonely. I mean,
Right.
she was with my dad for a long 60 years, I think. So I'm like,
Oh my
was it
goodness.
60? Yeah, it was 60. Um, and
Incredible.
yeah, it's her whole adult life. So for me, it's the flexibility, the freedom, and life is way different. I don't have to set, I haven't set my alarm. Well, this morning, I did today. I set my alarm today. But I don't set an alarm. I just
Right.
wake up when my body feels like it wants to wake up, and if it's 7, that's great. If it's 8, that's great. If it's 10, that's okay too. I don't have to go anywhere. I hardly ever use my vehicle now. And it's so funny is that literally it goes days without me leaving the house. And I love it. I love it. And I
Yes.
remember, beforehand, I'm like, I've got this brand new house and I don't even get to enjoy it. That was my thought process. And I'm like, this is crazy.
Mhm.
I've got to enjoy my house. I love my house. Just everything. So, it, my life is way different. I can have coffee on my porch, don't have to worry. I mean, I used to drink coffee in the car on the way to work, and it's just, you guys got me all tensed up because I've been thinking about that, what I did before, but I could never, I mean, I'm so thankful for this business. I am so thankful that I can actually do what I want when I want and have the resources, the commissions and the money to go along with it, that I
Oh,
don't have to
absolutely.
Yeah.
sacrifice anything.
But the whole thing, yes, we all have, our own things that we get to do now and how life looks different. But, the one thing that we all have in common is that we all still have to work our businesses,
Mm,
Yes.
and some people think,
absolutely.
oh, this is, it's, I just make this decision and I get to do this. We still have to work. It's a business, we're
Business.
small business owners. We still work it. We just get to choose what that
Yes.
looks
When
like
and
instead
how.
of someone else choosing it for us.
Yeah. That's the
Absolutely.
beauty. All
Mhm.
So
right, Amy, what about you?
absolutely. How many, like, think about me recently, granddaughter needed to go to the dentist. I was able to just say, okay, yeah, and I blocked out that amount of time. I want to go to the gym. I block out the time and I just go. We want to get in the RV and just go travel for a while. We can do that. We did that for 2.5 months a couple of years ago. We spent the entire summer up north. We're going to do it again next year. I'm super excited about that. We've got everything in the
Yay.
works to start doing that. But all of that being said, we all get to choose when and where and how we work our business.
Yeah.
I don't like to get up
Yeah.
to an alarm clock either. Of course, today was that day that we had the alarm went off, and I thought, what is going on? What
I
is
know.
this noise? Because I don't do that. It's been June of 2023. It was whenever I retired from education, and now this is what I do. So that is a completely different mindset than before, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
Mhm.
Um, Now, if we were to look at our personal relationships and family time and how that may have changed. Now,
Ah,
Tammy, I know for you it probably hasn't changed a whole lot because you were a stay-at-home mama before you started doing this. But what are some fun things that you get to do with your boy that you probably would not have been able to do if you had just been a stay-at-home mom not doing anything?
Well, the biggest one, and actually two biggest ones, and I always go back to travel, is that we were able to take a day trip for him to go fishing. You know,
And
never
where was
been.
that day trip? Where did it go? Where'd you
We
go?
went to Tampa,
Yeah.
Tampa, Florida. We left in the morning, the first flight in the morning. We came back the first or the last flight of the day out of Tampa, and we went fishing. So, and that is the ultimate time freedom, for sure. And
Right.
then this past year, I went to Orlando, and we're going to talk about relationships, but the relationships in the travel business. So, uh, I call her my travel daughter. Her little girl that uh, that I was actually at the hospital when she was born, and that was special in itself. I call her obviously I call her my grandchild now because she's my travel granddaughter, and so I It's just crazy to think about this. But she was celebrating her 1 year or 1 year
On your
birthday,
anniversary on the earth. Yeah.
no, birthday down in Orlando. And what I did is I took MJ, my son, and my mom, and we got on a plane and we went down to Orlando and spent a week down in Orlando. There's no way the amount of vacation days I have now, like I say vacation days, but travel days that I have now compared to what I had before, that is right there is what life is different. It's definitely I could pick up and I could go. I mean, if I wanted to go somewhere today, I mean, yeah, I would have to rearrange some things, but I still could. I mean, I could still take my computer anywhere and still be able to work. So
Yeah.
that is definitely the main difference in my life. Yeah, for sure.
I agree. How about you, Shelley? What are some personal
Oh,
relationship family times and how maybe they've
yeah.
changed?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get to make sure my husband is fed. So we're,
Yeah.
we don't have young children at home with us anymore. We have one of our adult kids who is back home, and that is just fine. That's a whole nother topic. But, I have the time and the ability to say, okay, if I'm coaching, because I coach junior high and high school athletics 9 months out of the year, and I love it, and I know that I'm supposed to be doing it, but that takes me away from home in the evenings. But this allows me to make sure like there's meals made and he has dinner at night. Um, but the biggest thing for me, for us, for our family, is that we get to do family vacations. Like all of us. We have 5 adult kids, 1 daughter-in-law, 2 grandkids. Sometimes we take my mom. We get family vacations and we get to pick up the bulk of that cost for them. Because they're young and starting out and have a family, it's hard. We all know what those days were like, but we have the time and the ability that we're able to do that now. Every other year we take a vacation with all of us, and next year is a cruise, and I can't wait. Last year we did a house in Tennessee, and we literally just hung out in the mountains and spent time together. We've done a cabin in the woods in Indiana that was a absolute blast, and it was a tiny little house for all of us, and we loved it. We've also done the parks in Orlando. Rented a house there and done the parks. Like it's just incredible to me that we're able to do that, when just taking a long weekend to go to Missouri to spend at my aunt's like cost me everything I had, literally.
Yeah.
And all my vacation time.
And all your vacation time. And we have to say something about the poodle real quick, because I love
she won't go away.
I know.
I'm so sorry.
I love me some poodles. And that is another thing that you get to do. You've actually had baby poodles.
We do.
So I think that's a huge for you too. You've never been able to do that before.
Nope.
No.
I wouldn't have had the flexibility to make sure they were cared for through the day. Yep.
Right. Yep. I love it. All right, Amy, what about you?
So relationships, so I think you guys have nailed a whole bunch of it, is the fact that we just get to do more things with our family. But my favorite thing now is, because I work from home, my husband works from home, is that we can sit down and have lunch together. So with a lot of times I dedicate my evenings to helping my team, because a lot of my team actually still works during the day. So I get to get on Zooms with them and kind of help them. So I feel like I want to make sure I have some dedicated time for him every day. And I get to do it at lunchtime. We sit down, we have lunch together, we talk, we laugh, we watch a show, we do whatever. And then we get to come back to work and do what we're doing. That's huge for me. I do love the fact that we get to go on travel. We just went to Branson. Doesn't seem like a whole bunch, but we went to Branson and had a blast with our kids. And we've, done Lake of the Ozarks with our kids and different things like that, where we got to rent houses and just go. Orange Beach, Christmas at Orange Beach. Like, would not have done that, wouldn't have even thought about doing that. Gulf Shores, Orange Beach area, but it was great. Watching my grandkids sitting there looking out the window, the glass door, saying, "That's a dolphin," getting to see stuff like that, or taking boat rides and dolphins just jumping right beside us, and all kinds of things. Those are relationship family times that would never have existed had I not been in the travel industry.
Yeah.
So, and
So
I would
we
honestly say that's probably some of those unexpected benefits of being my own boss. Like,
Oh yeah.
whenever we started, I started 6 years ago. My oldest granddaughter is 7. So I wanted to spend more time with her, but I don't know that it really even resonated with me that I was going to be able to spend more time with her. Like we
right.
get to have them come over. They're coming over this week. They're coming over Thursday and they're going to spend it the night until Saturday evening and then we'll take them home. So those are the unexpected benefits that I never
Yeah.
even realized were there.
Yeah.
What do you guys got do you have any unexpected benefits of being my own boss?
So we kind of skipped over mindset because um
Oh,
our mindset and that's one of the benefits I believe too. So we can wrap that all together is that our mindset is way different now than it was even, whatever years ago. And, we
oh,
say that this business is, a comp plan with our therapy too, our mindset, our development, personal development. And,
Right.
you know, and, um, and that's, I love that about this business is that, um, it will help you learn and grow. And that is probably one of those unexpected benefits that I didn't think that existed. And now I'm such a way different person than I was, 25 years ago, 30 years ago. Um, I'm more confident and
Oh, yes.
for sure, more confident, more, all of these things. And it's because of this business, I walk better,
Right.
and it's just the
yeah.
way that, I would walk slumped down before, and now I walk, with
Mhm.
purpose.
Yeah.
That's probably it, with
Yeah.
purpose. I walk with purpose because I know what I have my hands on, and I want everybody to have their hands on something like this.
I love it. You know
Me
what? That
too.
mindset, whenever you said that, that is totally exactly, I mean, it's spot on for me
Mhm.
as well, because whenever I was working as an educator, like I said, they always found something more that you needed to do. Now you've got to do this. Now do this. Now you're just not doing enough. You're not doing enough. The kids aren't learning enough. This isn't all these different things. And again, I was a special education teacher. That means my kids were not learning on level a lot of times. They had
Right.
deficits. They had learning
Mhm.
differences. They had to learn how to
Yeah.
learn differently, right? And what I was doing, they had to be college ready. Well, I had some kiddos that were in senior high school and couldn't read on a kindergarten level. I'm pretty sure they're not going to college to next month.
No.
College is
And
not for everybody. Can I just throw that out there? Like it's
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not. No, no.
so I hate our
Trade schools
education
where it's
system.
at right now. Like years ago, they said college is where it was at because they had too many tradesmen. Now they don't have enough
Yeah.
tradesmen, so it's kind of a flip flop. But that mindset that they were always tearing you down because no matter what, and I love teaching my kids. I would teach my kids
Yeah.
every day of the week. Like I would be there. I would still be doing it if it was just teaching my kids.
Yeah.
It's the
It's
people
all
from
the other
top
stuff.
that,
Yeah.
and you just feel like your own self-worth is just
Yeah.
gone. It
Yeah.
just gets dissipated constantly over and over again. They tear
Uh-huh.
a little bit more of you away.
Yep.
This definitely changed that. And
Yeah.
every day you're excited to get up and work
Oh,
Yeah.
because
very.
it doesn't feel like it's really work. It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. We get to get on podcasts together or
Right?
jump on a Zoom and just chat.
Yeah.
Right? So many things. But Shelley, tell us about your unexpected benefits, maybe how you could tie that into your mindset differences before and after.
Yeah, so I would say it's the relationships that have been built within the business. Just, as we talked about before, the three of us being in separate areas of the country, and yet here we are doing this business together. Um, and to have people that come alongside of you that encourage you, that aren't tearing you down, just like, Amy, you were talking about that beat down that you got all the time as a teacher. We don't have to deal with that. We have individuals in our lives that want the same things and we're working toward the same goals and we encourage each other and they're lifetime friendships that have been built.
Yeah.
And I never, like, that wasn't even on my radar when I started my business. Never thought, hey, that's going to be a benefit for me. I didn't
Right.
care about that. I was like, hey, what can I get out of this? And it was time, it was money, it was, the freedom, all those things that we're hunting down. But the relationships have been huge for me.
Yeah.
Yep. That was one of the things I will say whenever I was in education, like we loved to go to like the teacher's lounge, like that was the place to
Yeah.
go, or the copy machine. And, we'd sit there and chit chat and all of that was one of the things that I kind of worried about when I first started.
Mm,
And I really first started thinking about like, okay, I could do this on a full-time basis. I didn't want to miss that part of it, that aspect of
yeah.
it. And Zooms are my new teacher's lounge, which is
Right.
huge,
Oh,
huge.
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love it.
Yep.
All right, so let's just think about your life right now. And everybody that's listening or you're watching on YouTube, I just want you to think about your life right now. What would more freedom mean to you if you were able to grasp some of those things and get that more freedom in your life? What would it mean to you? And I'd really love it if you would just drop some comments below and let us know. That would be awesome. But until then, let's just say if you have enjoyed today's episode, I want you to think about this. You can always continue to learn more by just hitting that subscribe button. That's all you have to do. You'll never miss one of our adventures. And as always, we want to thank you for joining us on this wild and crazy journey that we
Hearts
call
wide
life.
open,
But until next
turning the
time, keep
globe with
exploring.
chains
I love it.
unbroken.
Bye, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Bye.